You could argue that it is a form of revisionist history and is the reason why a lot of people that were important in his life and asked to be a part of it politely declined. What's up everybody, what's on the menu, back at again with another video, and this time we're here to talk about how Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic, kind of reform and reshape how people view history. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I just want to say thank you to everybody who recently subscribed to the channel. We're now at over 400 subscribers and counting. I appreciate the love and support from everybody, and I truly hope to keep bringing you guys the content you guys want to keep watching. And as always, don't forget to like the video if you like it, don't if you don't, and if you like more social media and pop culture related topics like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's get started. I recently saw Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic, in theaters and was actually pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed the movie. The movie did a good job of covering a lot of information that a lot of fans of Michael Jackson were aware of, but also introducing people who weren't aware of Michael Jackson's life to things that they might have not known about, like the rampant child abuse from his father, or the fact that he got seriously injured and hooked on pain medication from the burns he sustained from the Pepsi commercial. I know I'm a little late in regard to this, but a lot of other YouTubers have done a great job in covering these topics as well, in the fact that there were a lot of important details from Michael's life that were left out of the movie entirely. One of the biggest things that was left out of the movie that people had issue with were the rampant allegations that Michael was a predator towards children. Though Michael Jackson was meticulously investigated by the police and also the FBI, no evidence of any inappropriate conduct with children was ever discovered when doing a search into Michael Jackson during his time on Earth. Get Like Prince does a good job in investigating the information around Michael Jackson and his relationship with children, as well as questioning whether or not he actually was someone who was into children like that. But here's a clip from that video.
But is it really appropriate for a 44-year-old man to share a bedroom with a child who is not related to him at all?
That's a beautiful thing.
That's not a worrying thing?
Why should I be worrying? Who's the criminal? Who's Jack the Ripper in the room? But I have slept in bed with many children. I sleep in bed with all of them. When Macaulay Culkin were little, Kieran Culkin would sleep on this side, Macaulay Culkin's on this side, his sister's in there. We're all just jamming the bed. And we wake up like dawn and go in the hot air balloon.
The world needs a man who's 44 sleeping in bed with children.
No, you're making it all wrong.
Well, tell me, help me.
Because what's wrong with sharing a love? You don't sleep with your kids or some other kid who needs love, who didn't have a good childhood?
No, I don't. I would never dream of sleeping.
I would never. Because you've never been where I've been mentally.
What do you think people would say if I said, well, I've invited some of my daughter's friends round or my son's friends round and they're going to sleep in the bed with me tonight?
That's fine.
What do you think their parents would say?
If they're wacky, they would say you can't. But if you're close family, like your family, you know them well,
But Michael, I wouldn't like my children to sleep in anybody else's bed.
Well, I wouldn't mind if I knew the person well.
I'm not saying I agree with anything that Michael Jackson is saying, but I completely understand the mindset that he has and where he's coming from. Hear me out. Michael Jackson was a person who was heavily abused during his early years in the show business and understands what it's like to be used and abused by adults around you and not feel the proper love and warmth that a child actually needs. As an adult, he built an oasis for himself that was basically a child's dream, Neverland Ranch. In it, he had amusement park rides, he had hot air balloons like he said, he had animals of various degrees, and when he would invite children over, they'd play, having water balloon fights or water gun fights and just run around, and basically any child's dream day. Because of this and how he behaved, people believed he had a childlike disposition to him that made it seem like he was very immature for someone who was an adult. Societally speaking, it's very inappropriate and not okay for anybody who is not the parent of said child to be sleeping with them in the same bed. But in Michael's mind, if you're someone with pure intentions who has no reason to harm the child and wishes nothing but to love and care for the child in the most affectionate and appropriate way possible, sleeping in the bed with a child is not something that he sees as taboo. In a utopia where no one had evil intent and everyone had pure intentions for everybody around them and no one wished to cause harm on anybody, I could see where this behavior would be considered normal, but unfortunately we do not live in that utopia. And it's very, very, very unlikely that anybody would be okay with that, especially if you're considered a good parent, especially if the person is not even related to you in any way, shape, or form. Clarissa C. also touched on this topic a bit with how Michael Jackson was perceived by his first wife, Lisa Marie Presley, daughter of the famous Elvis Presley.
In 1994, Michael married Lisa Marie Presley. He was 35 and she was 26. The wedding took place in the Dominican Republic at a private home in Casa de Campo. The ceremony was a secret and there was no formal announcement. Lisa had just recently filed for divorce from her first husband. The divorce had been finalized one day before the wedding. For 3 months, the marriage was not public. Then, in September 8, 1994, at the MTV Music Video Awards, Michael walked out on stage holding Lisa's hand. He looked at her, looked at the audience, audience and said, "You think nobody thought this would last?" He kissed her, and the kiss was long and very public. The audience gasped, and the critics called it staged. Among the press and the industry and Lisa's own friends, the entire marriage was a public relations effort to rehabilitate Michael's image after the Chandler settlement. Lisa has in years since given a complicated account. She said that the marriage was real, and she said she did love him. She also said he was too emotionally immature to be a parent.
And Michael Jackson, you were married to him for how long? What? About 2 years, right? Yeah. And was he as strange then as he is now?
I left.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Lisa admitted that she was terrified of having his children because she saw how he handled his world. She realized that if they did divorce, he would likely try to control the children entirely, stating how she knew his nature and saw the calculating side of his personality. She stated that she had imagined what would happen if they had children, and she had pictured a custody battle nightmare. They divorced in August of 1996, and the marriage only lasted 27 months.
She didn't bear any children for him because she believed that he was too immature to have children. Though the movie did paint Michael Jackson to have a childlike innocence to him even into his adult years, I'm sure they'll go over it during the second Michael Jackson biopic that they're going to be making. Another big thing that stuck out to me in the Michael movie was the fact that his sister Janet Jackson wasn't referenced, shown, or hinted at in the movie at all. For those who are unaware, Michael Jackson's father, Joe Jackson, fathered 11 children total, 9 making it to adulthood and 10 with his wife, Catherine, while 1 was outside the marriage. Janet is arguably the most famous Jackson sibling behind Michael. Though Janet and her other siblings, Randy and Rebby, declined to be involved in the movie whatsoever, it stuck out heavily to me that she was not in it at all. The final aspect of the movie that I didn't find out until doing my research on the movie and its historical accuracy was the fact that Diana Ross wasn't mentioned in the movie whatsoever either. She was supposed to be in the movie and be played by Kat Graham, but apparently was cut due to legal reasons. Diana Ross had met Michael Jackson as early as 11 years old and was a large musical influence on him while he was going through the music scene. They even both started a movie together, The Wiz, and she was a large reason as to why he ended up in it in the first place. It was also heavily rumored that they had some sort of intimate relationship, but I'm not here to speak about that. Their relationship was so strong that when Michael Jackson passed, he named Diana Ross as the caretaker of his children if his mother was not able to perform the duties. If you want a further deep dive on the making of The Wiz and the chaos behind the movie, as well as the love story between Michael Jackson and Diana Ross, you can watch these 2 videos by Ray and Beyond the Fame Celebrity Stories detailing both these accounts. I'll link all these videos in the description box below. Though the Michael Jackson biopic was overall a fun watch, it eliminated a lot of details from his life that people thought were going to be included, as well as left out a lot of important figures that either didn't want to be involved with the movie or couldn't be involved with the movie due to legal reasons. You could argue that it is a form of revisionist history and is the reason why a lot of people that were important in his life and asked to be a part of it politely declined. Personally, I'm hoping that a lot of extra information gets added in the second half of the biopic that they're going to be making, but we'll see what happens. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you think the Michael Jackson biopic was a good movie and was fun for what it was, or do you think that they left out a lot of important details that should have been included? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.